Hi, my name is Janice and I'm the Canine Care and Welfare Manager at Guide Dogs Victoria. Today I'm going to take you on a tour around our nursery, so come on this way. So as we enter our door here, on our left-hand side, we've got 7 kennels. The kennels are square, they've got a mesh gate that leads into the kennel, and we've got a metal door at the back which actually leads out to a concrete toileting area. So we've got 8 kennels in total, we've got one that's used for storage, so we've got 7 kennels in action. On our right-hand side as we walk past, we've got an office with a glass wall of windows, and in our office is one of our team members, Callie, who's sitting in there doing some admin work. And in front of us here, we've got our 3 mums that are on the ground. We've got Linny here, who is a dark yellow female lab. We've got Nada, who is a cream female lab. And we've got Garnet, who is a black female lab. And Garnet is in today because she is due to whelp. She's due to whelp early in September. Garnet has had a few litters before, and she's had some large litters. We don't know how many she's going to have this time around, but our average litter size at the moment is 7 pups, so we're hopeful that she's going to have at least 7 in there. So when Garnet starts her journey here in the nursery, she comes in 10 days before she's due to whelp, and during that time we're going to have her introduced to the other dogs that we've got within the environment, and it's also an opportunity to meet us. Because what's going to happen with her is that she's going to get assigned a whelp supervisor. So whelp is the term that we use in the dog world for birthing. So as you can see here, we've got 3 birth suites here, and we're going to open up birth suite number 2. Again, this room is where Garnet is going to hang out for the first couple of weeks of her journey. It's just another small room. You can go in there if you like. We've only got one side of windows in this, and this is because when she comes and whelps, we want to keep it nice and quiet so she can focus on her job. And also it helps her and the pups to settle in. In the corner, we've got a whelp box, and underneath that whelp box, we've got a series of blankets and a sheet. We've got a white sheet on there because we've got CCTV cameras, and the white sheet is better for us to see. Underneath those layer of blankets, we've got a heat pack within the floor, and we've got a heat lamp. So what's going to happen on her journey is 5 days before she's due to whelp, the team is going to start taking her temperature, and we're going to see a drop in temperature. The average dog temperature for us is around about 38.5, and I'm just going to wander over to Garnet now so we can get to see her a little bit. Garnet's temperature is going to drop down to sometimes as low as 36.9. And that's going to tell us that she's starting to get into the whelp mode, aren't you, hey darling? They're all going to come and join in on the discussion now. We've got Linny walking past us there. The things that we're going to be looking for as part of the whelp team is we're going to look for that temp drop. We're going to look for other signs that are going to tell us that she's starting to whelp. So that's going to be some light panting. We're going to see a light bit of nesting. And what we would be expecting that as she's progressing through that whelping stage, those things are just going to increase in intensity. So some of our mums, when they get into the nesting stage, they can get quite vigorous with it. It's a matter of they'll get the sheet in their teeth, they'll tear it, they'll rip it up. Sometimes they'll move those boxes around, they get really intense, and it's all just part of the process for them. It's meaning that their body is telling their brain is telling their body that we need to get ready to expel those pups. The puppies, when they're born, they're usually born encased in a sac. So if you imagine like a balloon, and inside that balloon there's a puppy and it's got its own placenta. So what happens is most of the times that sac will break, the fluid will expel, and there's the pup. Sometimes we have to break it for the mums, and then the pups will start breathing. The fascinating thing about these pups when they're born is that they can't see or hear. So that's going to come as part of their growth and development, and their eyes will start to open up. Usually for us, we start to see it around about the 2.5 week of age. What we're going to do too at that time when they're born is we're going to do 2 things. We're going to weigh them because that's going to give us a base weight, and our average weight of our newborn pups is anything around the 430 to 450 grams. Once we weigh them, we're also going to put a dot on their bottoms, and you'll see some of the dots when we go and see some of our older pups. And that's just a way for us to recognise who that pup is, because every day for that first week, we're going to be weighing that pup, and we'd be expecting it to be gaining anywhere from about 20 to 30 grams a day, depending on the litter size. Those kind of things, if they're not gaining weight, then it just tells us that something's wrong. And most of the time what it is that they're just getting pushed off those teats and they just need a little bit more milk supervision. Once she's met the 1 week post-whelp, we're then going to move her out of there, and she's going to be introduced back into our mother's club, as we call it here, because it's a little bit like us with humans. When you have that baby, you feel disconnected and you want to connect with the world again, and this is one way that she's going to connect to the world, and it's going to help to promote a nice, calm and peaceful environment, because that's one of the things that we want to try and do in this nursery. We want to try and make it as calm and relaxed as possible for our mums, and then in turn for our pups. So let's fast forward a little bit. She's had her litter. We've been in that whelp room for a week, and now we're going to come out to the outside world. She's going to go back to having little campus walks. She's going to go back to mingling with the other mums. And we're going to move her into this other day kennel, or the kennels that we use from 2 weeks on. We've got Diane here in with one of our litters.
Hello.
So as we can see again, we've got our gate that just slides open. That's just so that the mums can come and go, and then at night time we keep that closed. At the back of it, you'll also see that there's that metal door that opens out in the toileting area. And these pups here, these are Naders, the cream mum, and they're around about 4.5 weeks of age at the moment. This is the age that I personally love, because by this stage their eyes and ears have been open, so they can start to see and hear, and they've been doing that for about a week or week and a half by now. So they're starting to feel a little bit more confident in what they're doing, and we're starting to see that personality comes out. So again, you imagine, for these pups, 2.5 weeks, they're starting to see and hear for the first time. The noises and that they can be reacted to it, and it can be quite scary for them. So again, what we're trying to do at that stage is to promote a little bit of calmness and then gently introduce them into little noises. So you can see that they become quite confident, like these guys in here. So, did you want to go? If you're going closer, we'll be able to show, and I'll get here we go. Here's this, isn't this just the cutest stage you'll ever see? I just love it. But as I flip him around on his little bot there, that's the little dot. So again, that's what happens when they're born. We get that dot so we can mark them. These guys will be microchipped when they're 5 weeks of age, and the microchip is done by our vet. I know, that's exactly right. And then at 6 weeks, they'll be vaccinated and health checked as well. So this little noise that he's making, he's just letting me know that he's there. And we're just trying to be reassuring with that too, because again, he's just feeling a little bit uncomfortable because he's been picked up. Again, we have to remember that they're only young and they're not used to that. So we're going to put him down, and I'm going to grab another one. Thank you. This is a lighter white one. Look at that, that's very cute. So again, what the things that we're focusing on in the nursery here from the pup's perspective is obviously the health. We're always onto that. But the other thing that we're trying to do is create a nice foundation for our puppy raising department to build on, and again, our trainers to build on that. So for us, we're getting them used to things like collars and leads. We're getting them used to having things like this. Isn't this cute? This is just one of the coats that we put on them. We put that on usually around about the 5 weeks of age, and that's getting them used to having something on their back, because when they go to the puppy raising, they're going to get that thing on their back. We're also going to start to establish toileting routines. So if you can have a look through the kennel here at the gate that leads out, the door that leads out into the concrete area, there's a towel. And we've set that up so that the pups can start to feel different surfaces. And then that tells them when they hit that kind of surface, they're going to go out and they're going to do some toileting. So it's a slow process, but it does work quite well for us. The other things that we're going to get them to do is to get them used to things that they're going to be experienced when they leave here. So the things that are the forefront of our minds is when they leave here, they're going to go to a puppy raising home. What are the things they're going to be experiencing in that home? They're going to experience noise, children. They're going to experience vacuum cleaners. They're going to experience washing machines, dryers. We try to replicate that as much as we can here to help with that next step, to help that, I guess, that process into that transition into the home. The other thing for us is if we turn around here, we've got a glass door that's leading out to a corridor, and out there is we've got some dogs housed out there. Those dogs are the dogs that are in season, and we've also got some studs that come in for work. So they get used to hearing dogs barking or dogs making noises out there. No, I don't think we can hear that one. There's one barking at the moment. Again, it's all quite good. It's all getting them used to the next phase. So as we move along, we make it to the next litter, which is Linny's litter. Now this is quite fascinating here. Linny, as you can see, is a yellow female, and the father of this litter is Irving, who is black. And in this, you'll see that there's a mixture of yellow and black puppies. And that comes from genetic. We don't have the gene to possess the chocolate to create the chocolate labs. That's why we don't have chocolate labs. What we do have though is a gene that gives us a little bit of brindle. So the brindle is a black dog with a little flecks of yellow through it. And also, if you can see in this litter here of Linny's, we've got some various different shades of our yellow. So again, who chooses the colours of the pups depending on that litter it's just a genetic thing, and we don't have the gene for the chocolate. At the moment, do we have more males and females? That's also something that's fascinating because that will fluctuate. Again, we don't breed and we're not mating because we want specifically X amount of males or X amount of females. We just take how Mother Nature gives it to us. We had one litter not long ago that was a litter of 7 and they were all females. And we've had, I think probably the last 5 or 6 litters that we've had through here, the majority have been females. But again, it's just up to Mother Nature to decide that for us. So Di's going to hold up some pups in here for us. And again, in this room, we're going to be seeing different setups. We've got the crate because that's getting them used to something different other than when they're in their whelp box, they're all quite close together and mum's there as well. Whereas when they're in this situation, as they get a little bit older, we tend to take that whelp box out so they can explore the area a bit more. Again, like in our whelp room, in our corner we have floor heating, so it's nice and toasty for them. And then we also have a heat lamp up there as well, which we can flick on during winter if we need to. And the other thing that's really good about our facility in the Edwards Nursery is that we've got evaporative cooling. So when it's hot, it can stay quite nice in here. We tend to keep it around about 20 to 24 degrees. We don't want to go any colder or any hotter because then it's just more susceptible to viruses and other bugs coming in. So, oh, that's very cute, just crawling. Yes. So you're going to get the other one. So as you can see, we've got a yellow puppy here. Now this litter of Linny's, as we said, these were named by the Gifts in Wills department. So these are all W's, except for one little special one that Di's picking up here for us, and this is Callie. And in closing, I'd just like to take an opportunity just to thank you so much for the support that you give us. I don't think that you can really truly understand and appreciate how much we value, I was a bit tired, how much we value your input. The team here and the team within the whole of Guide Dogs, we are really grateful because the donations that you make allow us to do what we do here and to be able to do it with ease. So please, thank you so much for your donation and for your support. We really appreciate it. And now I will sign off, and I hope you enjoyed our little tour. Bye.
The Guide Dogs logo appears.